This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
Welcome to another episode of Random-ish with Sanja. What's up? It's a new decade. Decade. Yes, honey. Yeah, it still feels like yesterday, though, right? Loving all of the 2020 vision, 2020 spectacular, 2020 I'm a queen, 2020 we gonna do this thing. Memes that I'm seeing all over the place. It's great, seriously. We gotta start off this new decade with some positive energy, right? And great expectations and great sexpectations. Yes. I'm just saying, don't mean to change the subject, but 2020, great sexpectations. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh man. I had a good time this New Year's Eve. Did something that was a first, actually. And technically the inspiration for today's episode of what I want to talk about. I have been playing on the water for the past couple of years and love that. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it so much. I cannot even explain to you the tingles that I get inside from being on the water for New Year's Eve. It right? But this year was different because I partied with families. Wait, the way I just said that made it sound like I just don't like families. That is not true. I love families. I love families. I love the kids. You know, I often think and feel sometimes that kids and I, you know, we right here with each other. I'm doing the whole eye to eye thing. We right here with each other because, you know, kids like to be silly and free and just, you know, don't care what you think, you know. And I think that is... that's the sweetness of life. When you just make everything fun. I mean, doing the dishes can be fun because you're popping the bubbles. Yeah. Anyway, I won't tell it myself. But I often have always felt like kids and that's why I like doing the kids' parties because they're fun. They're not afraid to dance. They will just get out. They don't need no alcohol to get out and be free. They don't need the perfect song on. You know what I mean? They're just doing them. But I gotta tell you, New Year's Eve, I always remember as a kid, my parents, they would take my brother and I to the YMCA and we would do that whole New Year's Eve kids sleepover where you stay up and you watch movies and the cute boy that you like is there, you know, and you stay up all night and the cool kids. By the way, I was never part of the cool kids group. Yeah, no. It was very interesting to see the kids on the boat. At first, I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I literally kept saying to the promoter, tell me that this is 18 and up. Tell me that this is 18 and up because it said families, you know, party with your family. And I was like, who is bringing their kids? You know? And when I saw kids getting on the boat, I promise you, I was like, oh, shh. You know? Because I'm like, it's New Year's Eve. Like, you want to hear party stuff. And so then I was like a little afraid. I was like, is this going to be like a kids party? Luckily, there was far more adults than there were kids, but like I had to get over it. I'm telling you, it bothered me at first. I was like, how am I going to play the music? How am I going to play what I want to play? Like, you know, we're talking about sex. We're talking about drugs. We're talking about all kinds of craziness in these songs and popping that, you know, how am I going to... How are we going to get down with 10-year-olds? Like, oh my God. Honestly, I did hear a few people go, oh my God, we got on the wrong boat. But nonetheless, we were able to get it going. And I got over myself. You know, I kind of got over the whole, because I kept saying to people, I was like, it says on the website to play hip hop that is hip hop and top 40. And there's kids here. I was like, you know, and they were like, nah, man, they want to hear that. It's all good. The mom in me is just like, oh my God, I can't be playing them songs. But what's so interesting is I had to get over myself and was like, listen, if their parents brought them out here, like, girl, just do your thing, you know? And so I did. I mean, I am not going to lie, a lot of the songs that I wanted to play, I did not play. I tried to stay a little more family friendly. with my choices of the hip hop music. And so I the kids were dancing, the adults were dancing. We had a good time. I had to just kind of let go and just think of, partying and having a good time. The thing that I thought about afterwards, I used to play in some sports bars in Florida, and we would play these trivia games. And every once in a while, there'd be a kid in there. And I would be like, inside my head, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you brought your kid to a sports bar. Da 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 da. You're going to turn your kid into an alcoholic. I would just be having all kinds of judgmental thoughts. Honestly, what's funny is that at the end of the night, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I guess in all actuality, that's actually good if a parent is bringing their kid with them. Now, not if you're getting foobarred. If you're getting foobarred, well, then leave the kid at the babysitter's or wherever for the weekend, right? But if you're just going out and having a great time and you're a responsible parent and a responsible person, and you're not like highly addicted to things. I mean, we all get our first lessons of life from our parents, right? So the first lessons of life of how to have a good time and how to act responsibly and, how to have fun without being a douche, that should come from your parents. And so transparency, I think, is good, but at the same time, I do think that we should respect each other's privacies. I'm about to go into a whole nother subject, but it just really dawned on me that maybe some of the reason why people have the issues with their vices that they do is because maybe your parents were crazy. I mean, I don't know about you, but I saw my dad drink, and so I don't think that he was an alcoholic, but because I saw him drink, it made me not want to drink. So, yeah, but I was judgy-wudgy as a bear as a kid, you know what I'm saying? So that might not be necessarily the best example, but I do think that we look at our parents as, role models of things that we would like to do. And I think that it would probably be a good idea for parents to be able to have fun and party in front of their kids and do so responsibly. Yeah, I don't know where I got this, don't drink, don't do anything in front of your kid type thing. Because I think that having a glass of wine with dinner is perfectly fine. Having your friends come over and your kids are in the house and whatever, and they see you drinking, that's totally fine. I guess that I just was always thinking of New Year's Eve as being like a complete, just throw all caution to the wind. We're getting foobar, we're dancing, we're having a great time, we're acting a fool, and kids need to be in the bed, But like I said, I'm appreciating, and we've been talking about change for the past couple of weeks here on Random-ish, and so this whole new way of bringing in 2020, is part of that whole change, looking at things differently. And I gotta tell you, eye opener. Them kids was getting down. What? Yeah, so if you're on social media, my name is Sanja Denise on Instagram. You can go and check out some of the videos. I think maybe there might be 2 kids that you actually see. I didn't take videos of the kids, but there's 2 of them that you see. One getting down to Get Low, and I was just like, oh God, I Get Down is a classic party song, but I was like, oh, so yeah, so I don't know. I think this might be a thing. And apparently this is not a new cruise ship. This is not a new party. They've done this for a while now. And as they were explaining, it's people from out of the country who have their kids with them. And, it's not like they're going to go and trust their kid to some stranger while they go to a New Year's Eve party. So, hey, all is well that ends well. Yeah, it's a good time. So, but I'm very excited. I feel like 2020 is going to be nice and stable. Family, friends, good times, doing new stuff. You know what I mean? Getting paid. Me not trying to get involved in things that ain't got nothing to do with me. Hello. Yeah, that's that hero thing. I don't know if anybody else has that where you want to try to run in and save the day, but then when you do, it ends up backfiring on you because you wasn't supposed to be in that. Yeah. So we're definitely going to mind our own business this year. That is for sure. Oh, another thing that is for sure. Today I made a confession on social. I've been holding on to, so I've worked through a lot of the things that I've gone through in my life. I've worked through them, have a different perspective on them. You listen to Abraham Hicks, he tells you that once you get in alignment with things, you actually can change your past because your perspective on your past shifts. And I've been doing that a lot because, when you have a lot of contrast or a lot of things that, could definitely put you in a wacky house or whatever, it's important to monitor your feelings and know where you're at and stuff. You know what I mean? And there have been some things that have happened to me in my life that have caused me to have some doubt, and not really doubt in myself, but doubt in myself. Right. And I would get mad because I'm like, I have never been doubtful of myself. And if I really doubted myself, would I even be doing the things that I'm doing? You know what I mean? So there's always been this sense of somebody's going to take it away, that, just something crazy is going to happen. And what's so cool is that literally this morning I was taking a young woman to work and I was dropping her off at the mall. And I just asked her real quick. I was like, you know what? I don't pay too much attention to this stuff, but I had heard that there were some fights that broke out at the malls and that the malls ended up changing the rules. And she explained to me what happened. And she was like, yeah, so now if you're a minor, you've got to have an adult with you, because they just are not playing that. And I was like, and I said to her, I said, you know what? I know that this seems like it has nothing to do with one another. And maybe I'm wrong for this. I said, but you don't even know how happy you just made me by telling me that the kids went onto the school website, hacked in and said, brawl night and da-da-da-da-da. Because of another brawl night that happened back in 2007, my entire life changed. And when I tried to tell people that it was a brawl thing, had nothing, it was kids, had nothing to do with me, I wasn't believed. And I've had this whole vibration of not being believed when somebody takes advantage or does something to me, and then the people that I love and who I trust with my feelings not believing me. So I've had this vibration happening all my life. And weird things would happen, right? And I'd be like, what the hell, right? But I always secretly was like, oh, maybe it's a curse, it's a family thing, it's a karma, blah, 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 blah. An incident happened about 13 years ago with kids doing a brawl night, and I was a FM radio personality, and they did this ish at my appearance, and for whatever reason the night was blamed on me, and my life has not been the same since. And I never spoke on it because the people that were able to change my life have millions and millions of dollars. And quite frankly, I've been scared because I went from, making money to making $400 a month being on the state. And, I haven't really fully recovered since, you know what I mean? And this woman telling me this, I don't know why, but it was just like, oh my God. I was like, thank you. You know what I mean? Things happen, and we just have a deeper understanding, I think, of people and how sometimes people are crazy. But not that I want to go back and change anything, because technically, because of the events that have taken place, I was able to go to New York. I'm doing what I'm doing now. None of the things that I'm doing now would have taken place. I mean, they might have, but it would be in a different way, So I'm grateful for the experiences. I'm grateful that I'm over it. But my taxes were taken 2 years ago from behind this company. And I won't say the company name, but, they know what they've done. And then now this year, my taxes are still being affected from, an investigation that was found in my favor. But since I have no way of proving the computer side of it, I'm having to pay interest on $600 for the past 14 years. And again, at first it was, I've always really been the type of person that when something happens to me, I try to take care of it myself. I keep it to myself. I don't really necessarily let people know what's going on, but I'm tired of that. And the fact is that I've got to, deal with this again this year, and it's a 13-year-old issue. Wait, this is now 2019. No, excuse me, this is now 2020, so this is now 15 years old, that I'm still having to deal with this. So I want to go on record by saying the things that have happened have caused me to have a vibration. Now that I understand how energy works, and now that I understand that I've had this kink in my vibration since I was smaller, this victim thing, not because I felt like a victim, but because victim type things happened to me, and I would always try to overcome them, but I never let go of the victim because it was always like, what? Scenario in particular, I can clearly see how, had this not happened, then I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So now I can look back at a lot of different times in my life and go, oh, wow, it seemed like everything was falling apart, but really that is what's been happening with my life. Because now that I understand that I've had something stuck in my vibrational crawl, the things that happened as a kid, being a victim, and then bringing that into my relationship and not being believed, because that's what it was, okay? Things happen, and then I told, and people didn't believe me. So then I grew up having this people don't believe me thing going on. And even when I would have these experiences with Source, and I would know that there's like this, and magic is the wrong word that I'm using, but there's this magic that's out there, I was not being believed because in my vibrational crawl, I had a not being believed type thing. Then, of course, I did get myself together because I was in an abusive relationship, got chased around the country, wasn't down for that anymore. Realized, girl, you are not living what you want to be living. Go live your truth. Got into radio, went to school, did all of that good stuff in Kansas. As I was having fun, I wanted to do more. And, the boys and my mentor was kind of like, we can't give you the money for this because you technically don't have the experience. It was kind of like the whole, you can't get a credit card without having credit, but how do you get a credit card without somebody giving you credit type of thing? So that was that. Coming here to Connecticut, I came out here roaring, like I'm ready, came out here, came number one, got into the casinos, did a whole bunch of really cool and fun things with that radio station. When that incident happened, now mind you, I did have a vision. So this is why I held on to it for so long, because I technically had a vision right before it all happened. The day that the vision came was on April 8th of 2007, which was on Easter Sunday. And the vision that I had was an absolute spiritual one, so I really didn't think anything of it. And the vision is still coming true, and has a lot of things in the vision has come true over the course of the past couple of years. So when things took place, I didn't really fight it because, again, like I'd been given a vision. And then when shit went down, it was on Friday the 13th of 2007. Interestingly enough is that I did not understand or know that all of those events that took place, that there were some things that got stuck in my vibrational crawl. And that is that I broke up some fights. And in breaking up the fights inside the roller skating rink, I said, stop fucking fighting. That night there was a brawl fight. The kids from the schools had all decided that they were going to meet up at the roller skating rink, and then they were going to get their, they were going to have their revenge night. And that was the night of my appearance. And I somehow ended up getting blamed for what the kids did. I don't even, to this day, I don't even know how, because I haven't really thought about it, but I was blamed for that. And that whole victim mentality and then not being believed mentality just escalated, and ended up costing me everything. And what's funny is that I ended up getting to New York and getting back into radio, and got on and was working with Eric B and DJ Hot Day. And don't you know, never spoke on this either. Don't you know that Eric and Hot Day ended up getting into a fight, and I got swept up in it. Okay. My part that I played is that Twitter had just started. We had a Twitter request live show, and I would normally just keep hitting retweets on people tweeting us and then read the requests later, because you guys know Twitter goes fast. Okay. So what happened is that they were fighting and the fans started calling the man names, and I was retweeting because I wasn't paying attention, and I apologized, but again, nobody believed me, and then I fell into a victim role. And I'm tired. Do you understand? Same pattern happening to me over and over and over again. That no matter, I will get a certain amount of success, and then something happens where I feel like a victim, and then nobody believes what I'm trying to tell them, you know? And I'm done with that. So I am not a victim. And the things that happened to me as a kid are not my fault. That the fights that happened at that roller skating rink were not my fault. It doesn't matter whether anybody believes me or not. I know the truth, and I know my truth. And I know that everybody likes to tell you the stories of there's your truth, her truth, and then the truth. But I'm not into having an emotional remembrance of a situation. I'll tell you exactly what the F happened that I saw. And I'm not, so I just think that it's very refreshing for me right now to stand in my truth. That I now have an understanding that nobody's been doing anything to me. I've been attracting all of this bullshit. That with the things that have happened to me in my life, and it's not a matter of getting over them, because I thought I was over them. But there's always going to be things that will cause triggers to happen. And this, it just dawned on me again, because I had previous beliefs about parents, partying in front of their kids and stuff. And it took me being at the party. It took life. Me actually living the experience of being a DJ on the boat with the families to see that maybe I thought wrong. And so now I go into this new decade with the realization that I have not been thinking wrong. But yes, there have been some things stuck in my vibrational craw. And the reason why they were stuck is because I was blaming myself. When in fact, you can't co-create for anybody else. There are crazy people out there. There are ding-a-lingy ass kids that want to go and fight in places of business and cause a fucking ruckus. There are assholes out there in this world that for whatever reason, because you don't bow down to them, they will keep an eye on you, keep a thumb on you, and keep trying to make your life difficult because they're rich and they can. And I don't believe that all rich people are horrible. I've got some very, very dope-ass, cool, rich friends. But I have to have an understanding and know that everybody is allowed to choose for themselves. And there are people who choose to be assholes. And that's got nothing to do with me. And as long as I do not still have that victim vibration, meaning wondering why did these things happen, and instead changing my perspective to understand that sometimes that path is the path of least resistance because you had a desire that you didn't believe, and so you had to go this way so that you would now believe in what you want and believe that you're qualified, believe that you're deserving, and believe that you created the damn thing, so it's already done. So I really do thank that place. Okay, I really do. I thank you because this has been one really crazy hell of a ride, but I'm not going to doubt myself. And I'm not going to be afraid to talk in fear that you guys are going to ruin my life again, in fear that I'm never going to get a job, because you already did that. I already could not get another job on another radio station after all of the radio stations were calling me for the past 10 damn years. And I'm still here. I did not, I'm going to be honest with you, not that I actually thought I was going to die, but I thought I was going to, my spirit would be broken and that I'd just be, off some ditch somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it has shown me that I still have perseverance and energy, and that it's not always me. I might attract those fuckers because of my vibration. I really, really hope you are understanding what I'm saying, okay? Because I'm totally into manifesting, and there's been nothing to prove the evidence of otherwise than, that things are matched up, and nobody really wants to believe that you are the one who's causing bullshit in your life. But I just want to say thank you, because I have been reading this wrong. I've been blaming myself. I've been asking why did this happen, and dissecting and trying to figure out, well, what could I have done differently? And the truth of the matter is that it all happened for a reason. It was all the path of least resistance. I am so happy. And when I think about, okay, well, I could still be in the woods in that area on that station, you know what I mean? And not have experienced anything that I did in the past 13 years. And would I be okay with that? Absolutely not. So the point is, I know that we have experiences that make us judge something that's in front of us before we actually experience it. And I also know that sometimes there are things that we just have incorrect perspective on. And I also, now with a deeper understanding of vibration and having an understanding that every thought that you've ever thought is still vibrating. You just either tune into it or not. And so when the triggers happen and you are instantly brought to that, horrible place, it's because the last time you thought about that horrible place, it was in a horrible place. I have been working on what has happened to me for the past 13 years and convincing myself that it is all meant to happen because you're able to work for yourself now. You got into acting and, yada, yada. And all of that, although it is true, the reason that happened was because I still had a victim vibration mentality. And it was the path of least resistance for my inner self to take myself through everything that I've been through in the past 15 years so that I would understand and know that some of the beliefs that I have are not mine. They're not mine. They're from other people. Some of the beliefs that I have are strictly because when I was a kid and I could not fight back, I had to take it. Well, I don't have to take it. And it's been plenty of years. And if you don't have a problem having to make me pay $6,000 for nothing then I don't have a problem with saying that this broadcasting company, with the Me Too movement and with Monique and with everybody else being more open about the experiences that they've had in entertainment with Kesha, I feel more safe in that I don't have that huge following, but I do understand what it's like. And I gotta tell you, it is just fine with me to realize that there are just sometimes assholes in the world, but as long as you're vibrating the way that you want to be vibrating, you're not going to be met up with them. I was met up with those people in those situations because I was a perfect partner in that co-creation, in that I was a very talented young woman who did not have the correct perspective. I could have handled things differently. And it's all good because it's always working out. It is always working out. So I'm not saying any of these things because, like I feel sorry for me or an excuse or anything like that. It's just that I'm just now realizing that I had been blaming myself for 15 years. I had been thinking to myself that I've been blackballed and not being able to prove it for 15 years. 2 years ago, an investigation was done because something was brought up to a government official about me that we had to investigate to prove that was not true. And after that, I began to realize, oh my God, I really was blackballed this whole time. They really have been talking crap on my name this entire time. After my taxes being taken again, I'm like, oh my God, this ish is really for real, for real. When realizing that the exact same scenario, the exact same victim not believing me scenario of being molested as a kid has continued to reverberate and replay itself in my life. I can't. So with that being said, I'm just saying to you that if there's been some things that have happened, that even if you have gotten over them, but it still upsets you, all I can tell you is that keep praying that your inner guidance is going to guide you through enough life experiences where you will be able to come out on the other side without still having that trauma in your vibration. Because one of the things that I have come to understand is you can tell somebody stuff all day, and we do. We encourage each other, and you still should, because you're planting the seed. We encourage each other. We say wonderful things to each other, and the seed gets planted. But then it's life experiences that then cause that seed to grow, or cause us to know, or cause us to remember, the words of inspiration that were given to us, or cause us to hear the inspiration that's being given to us. Because what's funny is that I've always known that the kids, they've been doing that stupid brawl stuff. They've been doing that. But for whatever reason, it was this morning when I spoke to a mall worker that one of those brawls was at. And she said, yeah, no, normal day. And then all of a sudden, it was just fights broke out everywhere. And I said to her, I was like, I know this is going to sound wrong, but you just vindicated me from an incident that happened 15 years ago that I have been questioning in my head. Like, did I cause that? Was that because of me? Over and over and over again, I have replayed that whole 3-fight scenario and how I broke it up, and should I have done something differently, and how could I have done something differently? And, again, I'm sorry, but just hearing that at 3 different malls in Connecticut, these kids acted a damn fool. I feel like, and whether the people are not paying attention, it's for me. I now know. I know that I didn't have anything to do with it, but for whatever reason, I needed this proof. I needed to know in my soul of souls that kids sometimes are just a-holes. You know what I mean? And that, no, I really did not entice that or cause any of those brawls to happen that happened at that place, because for me at my place, it was 3 different fights within 15 minutes. And here in Connecticut, it was 3 different malls, all at the same time. So again, I just want to say thank you to my guides. Thank you to that which has created us. And if there are some things that you keep seeing happen over and over again, because there's patterns, and if I wasn't as reflective as I am, then everything that has happened to me, I legit can blame on somebody else. The incident at the roller rink, none of my bosses were there. None of my security was there. Nothing was set up the way it was supposed to be set up. With the other incident, that was between Hot Day and freaking Eric B, them fighting. Him going over into our show and our fans cussing him out, nothing to do with me. Everything I could blame on something else. You know what I'm saying? Being molested as a kid, I could blame it on something else. But I really do believe in that we're creators, and I really do believe that we are vibration, and there are things that happen to us that cause change in our vibration, and some things get stuck in our vibration, and because we don't think about it very often, we don't realize that it's there. So I hope that your life takes you through the paths that will lead to your sense of freedom and sense of being loved. And I hope that 2020 will be clear for me and that I will continue to move forward and not look back anymore.
This is Sanjar.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sandra.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sandra?
Hey there. So listen, I am so excited because my little baby is growing and I am just like, I'm feeling like a proud little parent over here. I'm talking about manifest beauty. It's been a phrase that I've been saying for quite some time. And whenever I would tell people that's a company name, they'd be like, what? But now when I say manifest beauty, people kind of understand. We're not talking about beauty aesthetics, but we're talking about when you take your life and you create beauty in the world, regardless of what has happened to you. There are some things I've picked up on, some patterns, some energies, some coincidences, timing, synchronicities, all of that good stuff that I noticed over the course of my life and would always talk about it with people and they'd be like, girl, you should put it in a book. Well, I did. So it's Manifest Beauty. Go online, check it out. If you're into consciousness, if you're into creation, if you're into manifesting, I got some real good gems in there for you so that you can show yourself that you are the bomb and that you are connected to source. So go online. It's on Walmart.com, Amazon.com, and a few other places that sell books as well. Manifest Beauty. Written by me, Sandra Denise.